हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द चैनल। आई होप सब अच्छे से होंगे और अच्छे से तैयारी कर रहे होंगे। आज का हमारा टॉपिक रहने वाला है स्टेट एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। छोटा सा वीडियो रहने वाला, प्लीज़ आप ध्यान से सुनिएगा। फर्स्टली वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट स्टेट। स्टेट refers to a political entity created with the purpose of governing a nation. It means anything which is under a particular boundary governed by the government of that area, or we can say self-governing political entity. Now the question is how a state ran. In a state, it has been divided into various organs to perform the functions, and the organs are legislature, executive, and judiciary. Legislature is that organ of state which has been provided with the powers to make laws. It is that organ of state which make the laws, and the legislature includes the two houses and president. They make the laws, they frame the laws, and the executive is that organ which is concerned with the implementation and execution of the laws. जब वो लॉ बनता है उसको एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए देयर इज अनदर ऑर्गन कॉल्ड एग्जीक्यूटिव which implement the laws. And the third organ is judiciary. It has been provided with the powers to interpret the laws and decided the laws related issue. If any law which has been implemented or passed by the legislature, judiciary has a power to review the law. क्या वो सही है या गलत है? Judiciary decides that is that law is justable or not. Now the constitution means it is a fundamental law book. It is a fundamental law book, the basic rule book which is a fundamental law of the country called constitution. Why there is constitution? There arises the question why there is constitution. There is constitution because there exists an inherent danger in giving powers to the state. What is that danger? What is that danger? The danger is if we give the powers to the state, it may misuse the same against the interest of the citizens. How? If we give any power to the state, if it is not in the interest of the citizens of that state, and still the state imposes or implements the law which is totally against the interest of the citizens, constitution provides the guidelines for the implementation of laws. Therefore the powers of state are limited by this rule book. This rule book limits the powers of state, according to which the state is supposed to function. This basic rule book, which is the fundamental law of the country, is called a constitution. The fundamental law, the constitution, apart from defining the powers and limitations of the state, it also defines the basic rights of citizens, fundamental rights, DPSPs, which is mentioned in the constitution. Not only that, constitution also defines the principal functions of a state. That is why there is constitution. Constitution is about it can't be like a state cannot function according to their whims and fancies. Okay, कोई भी organ अपने हिसाब से नहीं चल सकता है. There are rules, there are laws which are responsible, which are functional in the interest of the citizens. For example, the fundamental rights cannot be abolished or cannot. So the basic functions of the constitution we are going to discuss here, to provide a set of basic rules that allow for the minimal coordination among the members of the society. The constitution provides a way, provides a path towards the coordination of the society, towards the coordination of the members of society, which again includes the legislature, executive, and judiciary. For the minimal coordination among them, the constitution is a guide there. To define who has powers to make and enforce them. कौन लॉ बनाएगा, कौन उसको एनफोर्स करेगा, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज अ गाइड दियर. Reflects the ideology and philosophy of a nation, how a nation is and how it functions. Constitution reflects the ideology of nation. To set some limits on what the state can impose on the citizens. Like as there are fundamental rights जो नहीं छीने जा सकते हैं. In case of emergency जिनको रोका जा सकता है, बट उनको छीना नहीं जा सकता. It imposes the limits on the state. And one more function is to provide the provisions for the amendments. Amendment is like to make anything new, to delete anything in history in the constitution. It provides the provisions in regards. Thank you so much. Hope you like the video.